In today's Leeds news, new away kit launched, Leeds Paixao approach, Longstaff update, the latest on Anton Stach, and Real Betis make their move for Matteo Joseph. Morning folks, welcome back to The View for Thursday morning, the 17th of July, with your Leeds United news edging closer and closer to Leeds' first pre-season game of this summer, and a bit of football back on the telly. I've been told it's on telly, I haven't been told whereabouts it's on telly. I would assume LUTV are going to cover this game, so yeah, and then after that game the squad will fly out to Germany for their pre-season camp, so yeah. We're very close to football being back and not too long to go until the season kicks off. And some exciting updates this morning. If everything can get done, there is expectation management in today's news. I'll just give you that forewarning up front. But we'll start off today with the new away kit finally launching, and a really cool video put out by the club. And the new away kit has launched today and is available in store and online. And as if you want to support the channel, you can do so by buying that kit using the link down below in the description. You'll see it on the new Leeds away kit. Sorry for plugging stuff like that, but pays the bills. It's a cracking video being put out by Leeds United, and it features Mark Viduka, Jermaine Beckford, Ian Hart, Gary Kelly, Dominic Matteo, Nigel Martin, Michael Bridges and Larry Nance via phone, all included in it and all centred around the Leeds bring more. Some brilliant stories there. But yeah, really interesting video, really cool, nice moment to bring some of the older players back, and a really nice kit. And for those who like their kits, there's also been a nice little yellow number spotted in the background as well. And this top, along with the Dan James tracksuit top that everyone's been asking about with the trefoil logo on it, they will both be available according to the club later in the summer if you are interested in that. But the blue kit, as I said yesterday, takes its inspiration from the 2001 to 2003 away strip. It's a really nice kit. Personally, I love this. And again, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by buying that kit down below using our links in the description down below. Would appreciate that. Let's move on. Let's talk about the really exciting story that came out last night. And late last night, in a pretty surprising update from Graham Smith at the YEP, he put out a tweet that will be surprising to some people and very exciting to other people. According to Smith, Leeds have spoken directly to Feyenoord winger Igor Paixao's representatives about the possibility of a move to Leeds United. Smith says that Leeds presented their project to his camp this week, and there is currently no update on a response just yet. Marseille are also said to have some interest in the Brazilian wideman, but it should be said at this point that presenting the project to Paixao's representative doesn't mean the player is interested in joining Leeds, and doesn't mean that Leeds will get the player, but it is an indicator of the type of player that Leeds are looking for in those attacking positions. I personally never thought Leeds would have a chance of getting Igor Paixao when he was linked earlier on this window, but this update last night is more than a little bit interesting. A quick note on Paixao, it should be said before someone points it out in the chat, that he does currently have an injury that he picked up in pre-season and will be out for a couple of weeks. It's not said to be anything major or serious, but he will miss the start of the season and be available between the back end of August and the beginning of September. The injury hasn't put Leeds off making a move for Paixao at this point, and he would be an amazing marquee signing for those looking for that marquee signing. Arsenal were said to be very, very interested in a move for Paixao earlier this summer. The injury put a couple of clubs off at this point, which might actually help Leeds United in this situation. In Smith's update this morning, he says that Paixao is one of several wingers on a shortlist for Leeds United, and anyone worrying about the injuries shouldn't really. He played 36 times last season for Feyenoord on the right wing, but he can also play in that number 10 position as well. Feyenoord are said to be looking for a fixed £30 million price fee up front for Paixao, and that might put the likes of Marseille off. According to reports in France, Marseille would have to break their transfer record, and the structure of the deal wouldn't fit with their current financial model and might put them off making a move for the player at this point, and could help Leeds United in the situation. Paixao made 11 appearances in the Champions League last year. He scored twice and added 5 assists during that time. And last season in 34 top flight games, according to Graham Smith's article, Paixao accounted for 30 goal contributions, which is a phenomenal amount. He's also, according to anecdotal feedback online, better than Cody Gakpo. So we'll see about that one. Again, as I just say at this point, there is no guarantee of a deal for Paixao at this point, and expectation management, it's a buzzkill, was probably needed in this situation. The Rafinha connection might help with this situation, and the other side of that though, the fact that his development arc could follow a similar path to Rafinha's coming into Leeds, especially during a World Cup year and trying to push his way into the Brazilian national side as Rafinha did when he came to Leeds. All of that could help as well. And if he has a chat with Rafinha, you never know, he might just give us the nudge like Gilavogi's been doing with players that he knows. Paixao's injury, as I say, is a muscular injury, not expected to be majorly serious, out for a couple of weeks, nothing major there, but he is high on Leeds' list of priority targets this summer. But this will be a very tough deal to try and get done. But if they can get it done, injury or not, go out of your way to get this signing done. This would be a really exciting signing. Yeah, we might miss him for a couple of games at the start of the season. We've got other players that can play in those wide areas. Having him for the bulk of the season will be very, very exciting. You want a marquee signing? Igor Paixao would be there, but I would temper expectations on that one just to be balanced and fair on it. Let's move on and talk about a player that we could see today in a Leeds United shirt, and that's Shan Longstaff. According to reports, Shan Longstaff's medical is scheduled for today, and if all goes well, if all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed on the final bits and pieces, we could see Shan Longstaff presented as a Leeds United player tonight or early tomorrow morning. Longstaff is expected to sign a 4-year deal, although not confirmed at this point, with the club, and a fee of £12 million rising to 15, depending on the bonuses being achieved, is expected to be paid, and he is then expected to travel with the squad to Stockholm this weekend. He might not start that game, but will be part of the squad, and then we'll go out with the team to the German pre-season camp, which is the more important part. Right, other update to give you, and that's on Anton Stach, the latest situation around him. So according to Florian Plettenberg, who broke the initial story yesterday about Leeds agreeing personal terms with Anton Stach, he now says today or yesterday evening that talks between the sides are said to have advanced. Plettenberg states that Wednesday night more talks took place between Leeds United and Hoffenheim over the terms and valuation of Anton Stach. Plettenberg stated that Stuttgart are also said to be in the mix for the player, but that the feeling around Hoffenheim is that Stach is all but set to complete a move to Leeds United. Hoffenheim are looking for £17 million plus bonuses for the player before agreeing to his departure, and talks appear to be around the structure of that deal at this point and likely the payments elements of that. There are some loose reports, but not coming from overly credible sources just yet this morning, that state that a deal has already been agreed between the two clubs and that it's a formality at this point, but that hasn't been confirmed locally. We'll wait to see that, and as with all transfers, until you see him walking in the door or landing in Leeds Bradford Airport, you hold off just in case. As said yesterday, if Leeds can get this deal done though, it will be a very strong addition to Leeds midfield options next season. Gives us real options and rotating options and positional options and change of formation options next season. So yeah, very strong signing and a very big move for Leeds should they be able to get this one across the line. We'll keep you updated if we hear anything before the weekend. Let's move into the final story of today, and this relates to an exit from the club. In an article in El Desmarquis, they claim that Real Betis have approached Leeds United for a loan move for Leeds striker Matteo Joseph. In recent weeks, we've heard figures of £8 million and £24 million put out by Graham Bailey at the boot room about moves for Joseph, but this feels more realistic. We all know from dealing with Betis over the last couple of years that when it comes to finances and putting money up front, Betis don't have the money. The report states that Betis have reactivated talks with Leeds United in recent days after their initial offers of a permanent move didn't meet Leeds' valuation earlier this summer. The report says that Leeds would be more open to a loan move for the Spanish under-21 number 9 at this point, but the report says that Joseph is in favour of a move to Betis, given that it would give him more time, and personal terms, according to Desmarquis, are not said to be an issue. However, there is a line in this that appears to be the bulk of the information coming out at this point is coming from Matteo Joseph's agent, and it does give off the impression in this article that Joseph's agent is the driving force behind getting him a move to Real Betis, and also appears to be where the leaked information has come out earlier this summer around Joseph's desire to play more football this summer and potentially move away from Leeds. According to the report, Betis are convinced that they will get a deal done for Joseph this summer, and that the loan is also said to include an option to buy for the player, but it states at this point that Leeds have received the offer and are evaluating the offer, but at this point have yet to reply to the offer. I've said for a while now that I personally would prefer to see Matteo Joseph go out on a loan, get some minutes under his belt, keep his development going and keep an eye on him and see what happens over time. The interesting part of this deal is Betis having an option to buy in it should it be agreed, But again, we know from dealing with Betis in previous years, they've put options to buy Leeds players in before, and then when it's come to the moment to pay for those options, they've opted out and tried to renegotiate lower deals. We know they don't have the kind of money that's being thrown around here. So for me personally, any kind of an option being put in a loan deal doesn't really matter. Betis won't pay at the end anyway. So you're getting a loan deal here. The option also has to be agreed by all three parties for it to be actioned come the end of a season. If it does go through, as I've said before, we've seen Leeds have to buckle to these negotiations with Betis before, because Leeds were a championship side. Leeds being a Premier League side now at this point means they don't really have to do that anymore. So this might make Betis' negotiations a little bit more difficult. And they probably deserve that after getting some bargains off Leeds over the last couple of seasons. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see how it goes. It very much looks like Matteo Joseph could be heading out the door this summer. I personally think a loan is a smart move for Leeds to go and send him out on loan. Makes more sense. Keep an eye on his development. Good young age, has got a ceiling of potential. Let him go play football and see how he gets on. Folks, that will be it for me today. Massive thanks as always for supporting the channel. Back tonight with a podcast to have a chat about what's going on this week. You can check that out later on between 7 and 7:30. And also, if you are buying the new Leeds United away strip, use the link down below in the description where it says new Leeds away blue kit, and that will help support the channel here as well. It is the best way to support the channel at this point, so we would really appreciate that. And you can check out yesterday's videos down below. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. See ya. Bye.